Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Council Special Open for Tuesday, March 11. I would like to now call the meeting to order, and we recognize that Councillor Brudenberg is joining us by Zoom, and we also recognize that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the LHTAKO DENE. I'd like to get approval of the agenda. There is one late item, and that is J2, North Central Local Government Association recommendation regarding daylight saving time, and I will be presenting that report. So if I could get a motion to adopt the agenda as presented as amended, rather. Okay, Councillor Vic, Councillor Runge, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, so now we need a motion to adopt the regular minutes of the last regular council meeting held March 4. Councillor McKelvey, Councillor Goulet, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. We have no presentations, we have no delegations, no items arising from special closed minutes, no unfinished business, no committee reports. However, we do have a council report, and it is J1. And it is the report number C1/25, Council Committees and Appointments. And I will be presenting that report as soon as I get to the right page. Put on my cheaters here. So the purpose of this report is to update council on changes to council member appointments, standing committees, select committees, external committees, and other appointments, and all other appointments remain the same. So staff, do we need separate motions for under each of these headings, or can we do it in one beautiful motion?
Actually, I would prefer separate motions just because the one for the external, I have to send that out to several external organizations.
So we should proceed with individual motions?
Well, I've laid them out there. So one motion for the select committee.
Oh, I see. Okay, so we'll go. Okay, recommendations, council standing committees. As per council procedure bylaw, et cetera, and appointments, the mayor makes the following appointments to the new standing committee, governance and strategy committee. No resolution is required there. And so the new standing committee, it's called the governance and strategy committee throughout 2025-2026 for the duration of this council chair or council term. I would be the chair. For November to February, Councillors Rudenberg and Vic. March to June, Councillors Goulet and McKelvey. July to October, Councillors Elliott and Runge. And also sitting in for staff would be City Manager Joel McKay and Deputy City Manager and Director of Corporate and Financial Services, Carrie Bolton. So if I could have a motion to that effect. No motion? Oh, you said that right there. I'm not paying attention. Okay, so the next one is Council Select Committee. That council approves the appointment of Mayor Ron Paull to the Airport Advisory Committee throughout 2025-2026 for the duration of the council term. Do we need a motion there? Please. Okay, Councillor Vic, Councillor Runge, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. External committee appointments. That council approves the following appointments to external council committees for 2025-2026 for the duration of the council term. NDIT, which is Northern Development Initiative Trust, and that is the Caribou-Chilcotin-Lillooet Regional Advisory Committee, and that would be myself with alternate Councillor Elliott. Caribou Regional District would be myself, alternate Councillor Rudenberg, and Air Quality Roundtable, myself. So we need a motion for that. Councillor McKelvey, seconded. Councillor Runge, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, so that concludes that. And now we go to city staff reports. Admin Report 3125, New Standing Committee, Governance and Strategy, Terms of Reference. City Manager McKay to report.
Mayor, sorry to interrupt. J2, your resolution report?
I'm sorry?
Your resolution report? J2, NCLGA,
Oh, did I miss one?
the late item?
Yeah, but I thought that was cut. I apologize that this.
And Mayor, can you turn on your mic?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this report is coming to you late because this idea just hit me at lunchtime today. And so I've prepared a report and I look for council's indulgence on this. The purpose of this report is to direct the mayor to prepare a draft, and I underline the word draft, resolution for council agreement as detailed below. Summary. 6 years ago, over 223 British Columbians voted whether or not to stop switching their clocks back and forth twice yearly. 93% of them voted in favor of permanent year-round daylight saving time. Legislation was duly passed to make the change, but without a timeline. Premier David Eby said the change would not be enacted until our U.S. neighbors, namely Washington, Oregon, and California states, do the same. Fast forward to today, as U.S. President Donald Trump threatens ordering up standard time in U.S. and Canada. Given BC's long-standing wishes and an unpredictable, uncertain Canada-U.S. relationship, my question is this: should our BC government no longer await a U.S. response and move forward on its own with BC's long-standing wishes in favor of permanent year-round daylight saving time? For fun, I'm conducting a little poll on my personal Facebook page asking whether people favor permanent year-round daylight savings time, which is lighter in the evening, or permanent year-round standard time, which is darker in the evenings. In the first 24 hours, I have had 50 responses in favor of permanent year-round daylight savings time and 1 response in favor of permanent year-round standard time. Recommendation: that council direct me to prepare a draft resolution for council consideration calling the BC government to move forward with BC's long-standing wishes for enactment of a permanent year-round daylight saving time for British Columbia to be submitted to the North Central Local Government Association and through to the Union of BC Municipalities. In view of the Friday, March 14, North Central Local Government Association resolutions deadline, ahead of our next March 28th meeting, that council agree on final wording of the final resolution by consensus email in preparation for formal ratification of the final resolution at our next council meeting, March 28, 2025. So there's my recommendation. If I could get a mover and a seconder to get that on the floor, and then we will go to have discussion. Councillor McKelvey and Councillor Vick. Okay, the floor is open for questions and discussion. Councillor Runge.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So a couple questions. My first question, I guess, is to you. So are you planning to continue that request that we had 6 years ago to move forward in conjunction with actually our friends south of the border with the whole Western Seaboard? Or are you going to have a resolution that's going to be moving just British Columbia by itself?
As I say in the report, that British Columbia proceeds on its own.
So I guess then I'll speak not in favor of this motion. I don't think it's a good idea. I believe we do have a ton of things happening south of the border that we just hate. But you know what? I still see our timeline going along a axis of this earth, you know, and it will cut through all sorts of countries. And I don't want to make something inflammatory just because of what's happening right now in Washington. I would rather just stay with us moving forward to change it like we'd planned as a province years ago, and hope that sometime, because I believe that movement is also afoot in the U.S., and see that it moves forward.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other? Councillor Vic.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also don't agree that we might need to just rethink this a little bit. Different reasons in Councillor Runge, but I think alignment with certainly the Western Seaboard is important. We are going to, you know, I'm forward-looking and that we're going to get through our issues with the United States. And I think it would be impractical to have a different time zone than California, Washington, and Oregon. So there has to be some alignment, at least with those jurisdictions, I would say. So I definitely would be a proponent of permanent daylight savings time, but it has to be in concert with, at the very least, those three states. And I'm not sure of the jurisdictional power they have to change their own time zone like we might. I'm not sure what those rules are, but at the very least, there'd have to be a conversation. We'd have to be aligned, us, 4 separate jurisdictions before I would agree to changing it unilaterally.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Councillor Rudenberg. Sorry about that.
Thank you. That's okay. Thank you. So I would say ditto to the concerns of my colleagues that normally sit on the left of me here. But I also think that the province has much bigger fish to fry right now to worry about. I think that this will not be on their radar right now. They are worried about everything else that is happening, and to do another resolution asking for something that they haven't moved on during a time when they're busy concentrating on everything else, I think it's I don't think it's going to garner the support that you'd think it would at the provincial level. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Actually, this is not the first time that I put this resolution forward. It actually got through it got through NCLGA and I believe UBCM many years ago. And I don't know, I'm not trying to take credit for the fact that, you know, the government did have that little mini referendum and where 223,000 people said yes to permanent daylight saving time. So anyone else before I call the question? Okay, calling the question, all in favor? I think you're unanimous on your own, so. Okay, opposed? Okay, it is obviously soundly defeated, so thank you for that. I gave it the old college try. Now, just now we go to item K, city staff reports. Admin report 3125, new standing committee. City Manager McKay.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mayor. So the terms of reference for the new Standing Committee on Governance and Strategy comes out of Council's request to create something like that. It was modeled after the previous Executive Committee, but obviously the terms of reference are different here. Its main focus going forward is going to be on council governance and education, as well any reference to code of conduct issues that come forward in the future. But really for us this year, it's about the strategic plan and advancing the strategic plan and monitoring its progress for the remainder of this term. So the timing of bringing this forward is nice in the sense that we can get the committee in place and get it moving with the strategic plan coming forward to council March 25th for adoption. I'm happy to take any questions.
Okay, so the floor is open to questions. Not seeing any, and we do not require a resolution on this. We're good to go? We need a resolution, all right. So moved, Councillor Runge, seconded Councillor Goulet. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Okay, now, we don't have anything for council information or correspondence or bylaws or new businesses, no new business. Now, announcement, or pardon me, no changes to upcoming meetings, no changes to committee appointments other than what has already been done. Announcements and future events. We do want to recognize that March is Epilepsy Awareness Month. I just have a little bit of a statement here, and that is that Epilepsy Quesnel's founder, Natasha Wasmuth, has really put Quesnel on the map. Let's pay Natasha and her epilepsy team back by supporting this worthy cause by participating at these sponsoring businesses. Quesnel Bakery, Craig's Table, Shoppers Drug Mart, Evolve Sport and Cycle, and Bliss. For a list of the approximately 10 silent auction items and how to bid on them, go to Epilepsy Quesnel's Facebook page. Epilepsy can affect anyone with a brain. Anyone with a brain can affect epilepsy. So thank you for that. Does anyone else have anything else? Okay, so I would now entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved Councillor Runge, seconded Councillor Vic. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you, everyone. And now we will ready up for the Joint Advisory Committee meeting due to start in about 10 minutes.